and welcome to the hot stage, coming to you via the Hot Lap WRC Rally. We're getting into it, our first news video on Rally, and we'll be looking at that new point system. But not only that new point system is one of the things we'll be looking at, also we're going to be looking at Kalle's, well, on his future. He's potentially going to take a part-time, he said it in November, but he's opened up now, and there's an interesting article on Pirelli.com about it. Let's get into though our first news story, pretty much about this new point system in the rally. I mean, yes, it's not revolutionary, but it could have a significant impact on some of the results going forward. Potentially. So the FIA has published this new World Rally Championship point system that's set to be introduced next year, and this was on the 17th of December. As you can see here, motorsport.com has covered it. This is an article by Tom Howard, and he's put confirmation that the WRC will embrace this new point structure in order to spice up that final day of events. Was ratified at the World Motorsport Council in Baku earlier this month. That would have been at the prize giving. Now, the FIA has published the WRC's 2024 sporting regulations, which include the exact details of this new point structure. Under the new system, the sliding scale we've got of 18, 15, 13, 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. These points are going to be awarded at the end of Saturday's final classification, but only if a crew reaches the final classification of the rally at the end of Sunday. Now, the interesting thing is, if a crew fails to finish, the Saturday points will be awarded to the next best place pairing. So it's almost like, okay, those points are on hold and it can potentially change for the next day. Now, the biggest change sees championship points now awarded specifically on Sunday's performance. The prime reason for the introduction to this new point system is to prevent drivers from cruising through Sunday stages, preserving their tyres to the end of the power stage. Now, competitors, they're going to do battle for what is a maximum of 7 points on the Sunday. Points are going to be awarded as follows to the top 7 competitors. We've got 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, the power stage will remain unchanged, with the top 5 fastest drivers receiving bonus points, 5 points for essentially being the maximum, the fastest. Now, if a driver completes a perfect rally, they'll continue to score a total of 30 points as per the previous set of regulations. The winner of the rally is going to be declared on overall time for the whole event. But, and here's the kicker, in theory, the article says a driver could win a rally despite not scoring the full 7 points on the Sunday. Now, a competitor, they could also theoretically score more points than the rally winner. Crazy, albeit in theory. For the Rally World Championship for manufacturers, for drivers, co-drivers, points will be awarded for each rally, taking into account the general classification after Saturday, with all time penalties occurred until and including that final time control on that Saturday. Now, according to the following scale, first for 18ths, second 15 points, as you can see here. Let's highlight that for you. Fourth 10 points, fifth 8 points, sixth for 6 points, and then 4, 3, 2, 1 down to 10. To score points, the crew must be classified in the final classification of a rally. Now, if they're not classified in that final classification of the rally, as we said, the next competitor will be moved up to score points, and that's what the FIA sporting regulations have stated. For the World Rally Championship for manufacturers, for drivers and co-drivers, additional points as per the following scale would be awarded according to an accumulated general classification of Sunday only. This comprises the part of the first time control after the overnight regroup up to and including that final time control of the competition element of the rally, with all the time penalties accrued in this part of the competition. So first is 7, and then it goes down to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7th place, getting that 1 point. Now, the regulations also permit Rally 1 cars to compete without a hybrid unit, but they won't be eligible to score manufacturer championship points and must run with a dummy hybrid unit, so it's essentially mounted in the same position and weighs the same as a working hybrid. There's also been an amendment to the engine change regulations. These now state, in case of an engine failure between the end of pre-rally scrutineering and the end of the rally, it is permitted to replace the damaged engine, provided that the number of engines authorised in Article 17.1.1 not exceeded. Kind of like Formula One now with their engine rules, it's getting more and more complicated to follow. But is it a good thing? Is that a good thing? Let us know about these new points changes. I think if it stops people that are so far, cruising, for example, to get that advantage on the Sunday, I think personally that's a good thing. Sometimes change is good, but let us know. And speaking of change, let's get into Kalle on his future. I know, absolutely, that bombshell. It kind of, if you're also an F1 fan, it almost reminded you of Nico Rosberg winning the title against Lewis Hamilton in 2016, and then basically saying, I'm off. So this is from Pirelli.com. The newly crowned two-time world rally champion, he dropped a bombshell when he announced that he would step back to a part-time program next year. So what's next for Kalle? And what's next for the sport? Well, it says here, like Max Verstappen in Formula 1, Kalle is a once-in-a-generation natural talent, absolutely, and he's been driving rally cars for as long as he can remember. Yet, this guy is only 23. Could you make an argument that he's been more exciting for rally than Verstappen has in F1? I think potentially you can. But moving on, along the way, he's broken records. The youngest rally winner, the youngest rally champion, and now the youngest ever two-time champion. He has the world at his feet, so to speak, and the keys to the best rally car in the business, the awesome Toyota Yaris WRC. But for now, it says he wants to hang them up from time to time. The young Finn dropped a bombshell recently announcing that he's only going to contest part-time in 2024. He said, I think I had it in my mind for some time, said Kalle. So, of course, it was a big decision, but it was also very well thought about. I'm confident with the decision, and I'm 100% sure it's the right one. Now, in the end, it says Kalle had been competing non-stop for more than a decade. Despite his tender age, rallying just isn't what it once was. The sport, he said, has changed quite a lot with the videos. Everybody knows the stages so well from the videos that you need to watch them. So from Monday onwards, we have no time at all. We don't even go out for dinner. He says, for those who wonder what Kalle is talking about, the videos aren't Netflix and chill, sadly. No Drive to Survive here. Instead, he's talking about the in-car video, the stages captured during the recce, and their strict rules about the number of times you're allowed to drive stages before the event. But nobody gains, and that's essentially, so nobody gains a fair or unfair advantage. But there's no rules about how often you are allowed to video them and watch them. And so a lot of the rally driver now is reduced for basically watching and making notes. I think it kind of takes a bit of the magic away from it, because beforehand, you kind of relied on the pace notes. Yes, you did walk it, and yes, you did drive it to a certain extent, but now it's okay. It's impossible to learn like you maybe would a circuit, but still, it does take away any of that unpredictability. And he said, I think the schedule, the time in the videos on top of that is not working so well. And when you're tired, excuse me, it's not enjoyable, and you have to enjoy. Otherwise, what's the point? Now, one of the things Kalle's going to do, it said, with his newfound off time is more drifting. That's at the heart of every rally. A love of big slides. I always liked drifting, even before it started to be more popular. I always thought when I saw drifting, I would be good at it. It would suit me. I think I first tried it back in 2017 and 2018, and I've been loving it ever since. Now, with the sport having been invented in Japan, Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious. Excuse me, I just need a bottle. I better cough. So he said it's in relation to this, his commitment to Toyota manufacture, it remains undiminished, despite obviously his part-time. He has just signed a multi-year deal. He said, it's a fantastic team, supports me, and where I feel completely at home. I hope I'm there for a very long time. And they're also questioning a racing future. Well, it won't just be rallying. Kalle's going to be doing some circuits as well, circuit racing, something that he's become increasingly interested in, which even led him to come and have a look at the season closing Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And I'm planning to do some testing, at least hopefully in some circuit events in respect of, with Toyota. And of course, the main focus for next year will be resting and recharging the batteries, but I would love to try this too. Toyota has just a machine for him as well. We've got the Lexus RCF GT3 car, and of course, his rallying is also going to continue. So, not great, but doesn't that open up who's going to be the 2024 champion? And that's something we'll get into when we preview the upcoming rally season as well. It has, imagine that. I mean, that's like Max Verstappen not coming back, opening up a can of good worms, let's say, because with his loss, we could get one of the most competitive seasons in rally for next year. Anyway, this has been the Hot Lap. If you want to like and subscribe, that's great. If you made it to the end, you are a world champion.